so let us get it from there. I said, there's no check on there. National anthem. Chairman will declare welcome everybody. I will just say that everybody will welcome. So Chairman will not take over.
You will tell us when to play national anthem.
Yes. Don't worry, Chairman will be the one to say that it's 10 o'clock. We will now let us all rise for national anthem. That is his own. So once he says that, I will give you the signal and I will play the national anthem. You will hear.
After the national anthem.
After the national anthem, just go off. It continues. His mic
They say I should display the agenda.
No need for agenda. No need for agenda.
So after the national anthem.
After the national anthem, Chairman continues.
Okay, Chairman continues.
Yes, it continues. So as it goes, the next mic will let you know which mic is actually this now. Yeah, I'm saying what Baba is putting up. His voice, with his voice, get to the mic. I think I didn't speak to them. Look at me there. Hello? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are just like a few seconds before 10 p.m. to commence 2019 annual general meeting of Caverton Helicopters. Because of the unusual situation, this is being transmitted live. And I want to implore every one of you that is here seated today to please put your handset, mobile phone, in complete silence. ordinary vibration actually goes into the feed, and the people watching us online will not like the kind of sound that is actually coming back to them. Please, if you can just please help us to put your phone in complete silence. Thank you very much.
Let's rise for the national anthem. The quorum required by the articles of the company is that 25 members, either in person or proxy, who must hold at least 25% of the shares
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, directors, and esteemed shareholders. Thank you, sir. My name is Bukola James Cole, and I represent United Securities Limited, Registrar to Caverton Offshore PLC. We have 3 shareholders attending in person and 210 shareholders attending by proxy, with a total shareholding of 2,777,436,808 shares, representing 82.19% of the issued and fully paid up shares capital of the company. With this information, we hereby confirm that a quorum has been duly formed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bukola James Cole. This meeting is therefore duly convened and properly constituted. Accordingly, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the 11th Annual General Meeting of our company, which now I declare open.
God, our Maker. Father Jehovah, we thank you for this beautiful day. Father Lord God, we thank you for the board of the Caverton company that has deemed it necessary today, in spite of the COVID pandemic, to bestow unto the shareholder a good dividend. Father Lord God, we beseech you to grant the board more wisdom and understanding to steer this ship of this company to greater height. As for our chairman that you have been using as father to multitude of Nigerians, we pray that God in his infinite mercy should grant him long life and more strength to take this company, his dream, to greater height and turn it to a world-class company that he aspired it to be. For the shareholders, we also pray that the grace to enjoy our dividend in all our investment, Father, grant it to us. To the nation Nigeria, we beseech thee for divine protection and enduring peace. These and many other things we ask through our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you.
Therefore, be an opportunity for questions on each motion before a vote is taken on it. Please ensure you raise your hand and receive approval before you speak. Microphones and amplifying equipment have been placed strategically so that sorry for that. Microphones and amplifying equipment have been placed strategically so that everyone micro Microphones and amplifying equipment have been placed strategically so that everyone should be able to hear. I would therefore request that you speak audibly and commence by stating your names. The Registrar of Directors shareholding is available for inspection during this meeting in compliance with Section 2758 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap C20 LFN 2004. Before we proceed to the more formal matters on the agenda, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce to you the directors of your company. I'm Adiremi Makanjola, the chairman of your company. On my left is Mrs. Titilola Adigun as the director and the CFO of the company. On my extreme right is Chief Raymond Ihembe, a non-executive director. On my near right is Ms. Amaka Obiora, the company secretary. I would also like to introduce Mr. Friday Ejere Odigo, a member of the Audit Committee, who will be representing the chairman of the Audit Committee, Mr. Chinasa Ego Ozuala, who is unavoidably absent. In view of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, our other directors as well as the Audit Committee members are joining the meeting virtually. I'm therefore representing these directors, while the shareholders representative of the Audit Committee are represented by Mr. Friday Ejere Odigo. Nevertheless, I would like to introduce them to you. The other directors are Mr. Bode Makanjola, Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Akin Kekereekun, Non-Executive Director, Malam Bello Gwandu, Non-Executive Director, Mr. Bashir Bakari, Non-Executive Director, Mr. Shola Falola, Non-Executive Director, and His Royal Majesty Edmond Dakoru, Non-Executive Director. The other shareholders representatives on the Audit Committee are Mr. Chinasa Ego Ozuala, Chairman, and Akim Shagaya. We also have with us representative of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Mrs. Lillian Dako, representative of the Security and Exchange Commission, Mr. Obina Eguniwe, representative of the External Auditor, Ernst & Young, Mrs. Omolola Alebioshi. The registrar, United Security Registrars Limited, is represented by Mrs. Bukola James Cole. However, because of the lockdown, CAC will not be able to send a representative to observe deliberations of the meeting. They have requested that we send to them a detailed report of the meeting as well as evidence of compliance with the guidelines they provided. I wish to also introduce the shareholders. Introduce the shareholders present, who are also acting as proxies for the shareholders that cannot be physically present due to the pandemic. They are Sir Sonny Wosu, who is represented by Mr. Moses Iburede, Mr. Boniface Okeizi, and Mrs. Bisi Bakari, while Pastor Williams and Mr. Akinade representing themselves are also present. I will now call on the company secretary to read the notice of the meeting.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and our distinguished shareholders. Notice is hereby given that the 11th Annual General Meeting of Caverton Offshore Support Group PLC will be held at the Caverton Helipad, Ozumba Mbadiwe Street, Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria, on Thursday, the 25th of June, 2020, at 10 a.m. to transact the following business. Agenda A, ordinary business. To lay before the members the audited financial statements of the company for the year ended 31st December 2019, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, and audit committee thereon. 2, to declare a dividend. 3, to re-elect the following directors as non-executive directors. 1, Chief Raymond Iyembe. 2, Mr. Shola Fadola. 3, HRM Edmond Dakuru. Number 4, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the directors. 5, to elect members of the audit committee. Special business. 1, to fix the remuneration of directors. 2, to authorize the renewal of reoccurrence transactions which are of trading nature or those necessary for its day-to-day operations from related companies in accordance with the rules of the Nigerian Stock Exchange governing transactions with related parties. Proxy. Shareholders should kindly note that the following government directives restricting public gathering due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Corporate Affairs Commission has granted approval for the AGM to hold with attendance by proxy to minimize the physical contact and ensure public health and safety. Quorum for the meeting can therefore be formed either by physical attendance or by proxy. A member of the company entitled to attend and vote at the annual general meeting is entitled to appoint a proxy to attend and vote in his or her stead. Proxies need not be members of the company. The names of the suggested proxies are A, Mr. Aderemi Makonjola, the chairman. B, Chief Raymond Iyembe, a non-executive director. C, Ms. Amaka Obiora, the company secretary. D, Sir Sonny Woso. E, Mr. Boniface Okeze. F, Mrs. Bisi Bakari. A blank proxy form is attached to the annual report and is also available on the company's website, www.caverton-offshore.com, and the registrar's website at www.unitedsecuritiesLimited.com. In line with the Corporate Affairs Commission's guidelines, shareholders are advised to send their completed proxy forms to the Office of the Company Secretary, Caverton Offshore Support Group PLC, number 1, Prince Kayode Aki Bade Close, Victoria Island, Lagos, or send soft copies to the email address companysecretary.secretariat@caverton-offshore.com or to customercare@unitedsecuritiesLimited.com no later than 48 hours before the AGM to enable the company stamp the proxy forms at the company's expense. Dated this 3rd day of June 2020 by order of the board. Thank you.
Thank you. It is necessary to draw the attention of shareholders to the measures we have taken as a responsible corporate citizen due to the ongoing COVID pandemic. In compliance with federal and state directives, the number of people present at this meeting is within the limit of 20. In addition, we have taken several precautionary steps, including the provision of sanitizers, masks, and gloves at the venue, as well as the checking of the temperatures and ensuring social distancing between the attendees. Before we move to item 1 of the agenda, let me present to you the chairman's statement, which appears on page 10 and 13 to 13 of the annual report and financial statements. Thank you. Do I have your permission to take the statement as read? Yes. Thank you. The CEO statement is also on page 14 to 15 of the annual report and financial statements. If it is your wish, thank you. We will now move to item 1 on the agenda, as I'm sure that you agree you have had the report and the accounts for the period ended 31st December 2019 for the required statutory period. I would now like to formally lay before the meeting the annual report and accounts, including the audited financial statements of the year ended 31st December 2019, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, and the audit committee thereon. I will now ask representatives of the auditors to read the reports.
2023. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. In accordance with requirements of Schedule 6 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap 620, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, we confirm that 1. We have obtained all information and explanation which to the best of our knowledge and belief were necessary for the purpose of our audit. 2. In our opinion, proper books of account have been kept by the group and the company insofar as appears from our examination of those books. And 3, the group and the company's consolidated and separate financial position and consolidated and separate statement of profits or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with books of account. Signed by Omolola Alebioshu on behalf of Ernst & Young, dated 22nd of May 2020. Thank you.
Thank you. In accordance with the provision of Section 359-6, bracket 6 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap C20 LFN 2004, the Audit Committee duly carried out their duties as required on the accounts for the period ended 31st December 2019. I now ask the representative of the chairman of the Audit Committee to read the Audit Committee report. The chairman of the Audit Committee is being represented by Mr. Friday Ejere.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Let me stand on the existing protocol. This report represents the Audit Committee report for the year ended 31st December 2019. I am on the Friday Ejere, and I'm standing in for the Audit Committee chairman, who is unavoidably absent. In compliance with Section 359, bracket 6 of the company and Allied Matters Act 2004, the members of the Audit Committee of Caverton Commercial Support Group PLC hereby report as follows. 1. We have exercised our statutory function under Section 359, bracket 6 of the Company and Allied Matters Act 2004, and states that the scope and planning of the audit were adequate in our opinion. 2. We are of the opinion that the accounting and reporting procedure policies of the group conform to the statutory requirements. 3. The internal control and internal audit functions of the group were operated effectively. 4. The external auditors' findings are being dealt with satisfactorily by the management. And 5. We acknowledge the cooperation of management and staff in the conduct of our responsibilities. Signed the 7th day of May 2020 by Mr. Chinaso Ego Oswala. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll be pleased to answer questions which you may have on the report and accounts before we proceed to the next item of business. Are there any questions before the motion is put to the meeting?
Yes.
Please, Mrs. Blackberry.
I'm going to stand on the existing protocol as well. My name is Mrs. Bakari Adebisi Oluwayemisi, National Coordinator of Pragmatic Shareholders Association of Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, my comment this morning is going to be very brief because I've already sent my questions and comments to you through the company secretary. Firstly, before I start my comments, I want to use this opportunity to really commend and appreciate our company secretary for our effort in making sure that today's meeting is successful. I commend her for that. Pages 7 and 8, where we have results at a glance. Mr. Chairman, this year's result is very impressive and excellent. One, despite that our revenue for the group increased by just 5%, we grew our operating profit by 54%. From 33.2 billion to 34.98 billion. Profit before taxation went up by 36% from 5.31 billion to 7.24 billion. Profit after taxation went up by 14% from 3.8 billion to 4.35 billion. This is very good, and I commend the board and management for this. If you look at the page also, you will see that our borrowings came down by 19%. This is also very good. That shows that our company don't want to continue working for the banks. Again, our revenue reserve went up by 37% from 9.5 billion to 12.96 billion. Shareholders' fund went up by 20%. Earnings per share increased from 112 kobo to 128 kobo. This is very good also. Dividend per share, this is not also very bad, though it reduced from what our company declared last year. But if we look at go through the chairman's statement, we will see the reason for that. And I believe the board plowed back the money into our working capital in order to reduce our borrowing. So this is good. This is very good for we shareholders. My prayer is that we will all live long in good health to enjoy the bomber dividend in many years to come.
Amen.
Furthermore, Mr. Chairman, I think under the chairman's statement also, I sympathize and also thank God for our company that during our first aviation accident that happened to us involving the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that is Professor Yemi Osinbajo at Kaba, the Kogi State, that no lives was lost. We thank God for that, and I pray that all our journey to and fro will be accident-free. Page 13. Again, I also commend our company for our newest initiative on the acquisition of Flight Simulator Training Device, FSTD. This was developed by TASE Group and is the first of its kind in Nigeria and the African continent at large. This is very good. Please, shareholders, let us give them a very sound applause for this achievement. Pages 30 to 32. Corporate governance reports. Looking at our corporate governance report, I can say it broadly this morning that this is the first time I will see annual report that board meetings and board committee meetings that no director was absent from the meeting and no apology. I've never seen it. So I give kudos to the board for this. I think this shows that our directors have the interest of our company, and I will appeal to them to keep it up. Page 98. page 98, where we have disaggregated revenue information, note 5.1, geographical market within Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, on helicopter maintenance, we increased our revenue by 2,040% from 4.67 million in 2018 to 99.9 million this current year. This is very good. Agency service income also grew by 119.9% from 42.3 million to 93.1 million. Helicopter charter also increased by 16.4% from 794.7 million to 924.8 million. This is very good also, and I pray that by this time next year we have more revenue in those areas. But Mr. Chairman, outside Nigeria, we need to put, I'm still on the same page of disaggregated revenue information, that outside Nigeria, we need to put more efforts in generating more reasonable revenue from those areas also. Though for outside Nigeria market, we grew our agency service income by 119.9% from 20.2 million to 44.4 million. This is very good, but like I said earlier, we need to put more effort in those areas. Page 100. Lastly, page 100, where we have administrative expenses. Mr. Chairman, I think we need to watch some of our expenses, especially the entertainment and transport and travels expenses. Our entertainment moved from 36.5 million to 52.4 million, difference of 15.9 million. And the same thing with transport and travels expenses, from 486.7 million to 538.8%. To 538 million. So I want the board to look at those two expenses. I will be glad, Mr. Chairman, if when you are giving responses to our question, you also give responses to the question I sent through the company secretary. Once again, thank you for the opportunity given to me to be part of this prosy AGM. My prayer is that 1 minute silence will not be observed to all of us that are here present and those that are not, those that are joining us visually. Thank you once again for the opportunity given to me.
Thank you. Yeah.
The chairman of Caverton PLC, directors, those present and absent, fellow distinguished shareholders, good morning. My name is Okezie Boniface, the national chairman of Progressive Shareholders Association of Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, first and foremost, I want to appreciate the company secretary and the chairman who made it possible for us to represent the entire shareholders here today. It's a privilege because we have how many shareholders and not many are here today. That means in compliance with the government directive, so that you can minimize this pandemic, affecting the people. And this is excellent. We're not even up to the maximum prescribed. I think we want to commend the company for adhering to that rules. Mr. Chairman, the business in the country today have not been easy. Either bank or manufacturers or aviation, what have you. Since last year, it has not been easy for companies operating in our economy. In an economy that's uncertainty, that anything can happen. The government even decision is not even favorable. But any company that have surmounted these problems and able to propose dividend should be commended. But even though that the profit also went up a little, and we also are hoping that would have more dividend than what you have last year, was better.
Even the profit last year was not even much to compare it with, in 2018 than 2019. But Chairman, you are giving us 20 kobo. Instead of 25 kobo we paid previously. We would have hoping that maybe another 10 kobo would have added on top of it. Mr. Chairman, but even at that, we want to also thank you, appreciate the company. But the most important thing that this company is a dividend-paying company, and we have to maintain it continuously now, so that we don't have to pay this year and next year we won't pay. But I want to also employ the board to look at improving in paying higher dividend. Even if you pay 20 kobo this year, but next year, let us look at something better than what we have been paying. Mr. Chairman, in this pandemic, how are we faring as a company in aviation industry? Because today, most of flights have been grounded. How are you faring in make sure that you are raking some revenue in? We are talking about dividend this year. What of next year? See, the pandemic are there, and I know what you encountered a few months last, yes, in Port Harcourt, where some of the crew were detained, as a result fleeing to Port Harcourt when the pandemic entered Port Harcourt City. Mr. Chairman, how are we faring? Is it not going to affect us come next year in terms of dividend payout, in terms of operations? Because I know today a lot of companies may be downsizing. How are we taking our staffs? Because these are our assets. I will say because the pandemic let us retrench or cut salaries. This also we want to know, how are we tackling the issues and making sure that our staff are retained, our great assets. Mr. Chairman, it's very important. We cannot afford to ask for more dividend, and those staff who are baking the cake are sent home. Instead of doing that, Mr. Chairman, the company must embark upon maybe reducing the salaries, and when things normalize, you start paying them instead of asking them to go home. That is not going to be good enough for our company and the economy at large. Having said that, Mr. Chairman, I want to also commend the registrar, the company secretary, who made sure that this thing get to homes or shareholders, the annual report. Despite those pandemic, they deploy all means, couriers and the dispatch riders, make sure that this annual report get out in time for people to look and make their comment, even those who are not going to be here today present. Maybe by sending their comments or whatever, their questions to the company secretary to reach the board. I want to also commend them for doing that. And Mr. Chairman, the good thing is that this dividend is payable today. And the registrars, United registrars, are very capable in dispatching this dividend today. And that's why we're appealing to shareholders to seize the opportunity that SEC are provided to migrate into e-dividend, so that this issue of unclaimed dividend will be a thing of the past. So that by the time we are living here to now, the dividend is being credited to everyone that is a shareholder of this company. It's very, very important. That means this company is solid financially to pay it out today. I want to commend the company for doing that. Mr. Chairman, on page 29, I want to also commend you for being charitable enough to give out, even the widow's mite, to the society in which you operated, even though it is not much compared last year, 2018, where we give out almost 18 million. The 7.8 million. It's not all that bad. Hey, Mr. Chairman, why I found out Lagos State Ministry of Health, the 5 million, why don't you identify any hospital directly to give that money than the ministry? Because in most cases, giving out this money to government organs, some of them divert it instead of using it for what it was meant for. If we're giving it to motherless homes, it would be better than giving it to the Ministry of Health. I know the Ministry of Health, the hospitals are doing very well, who are frontliners today. If we're giving it to even medical associations, to their members, that would be better than the government agency. St. Xavier College, Ikoyi, good. Our children who are there, they need more to assist them in those schools. Even today, the schools are shut down. They start being paid to teachers who are sitting at homes. Mr. Chairman, we should be able to do more, identify to less privileged societies to give these donations. That will not take anything from us. Rather, their prayer will go a long way to help the family to navigate in times of trouble. Mr. Chairman, I looked at the pages here where we have photographs. We have been holding AGM here year in, year out. We never see your shareholders in the annual reports. At least you have meetings here today. We don't see shareholders appearing. Rather, the directors, others, etc., etc. And this report is given to us. We should be able to reflect in that photograph. The report is not meant for those who are here. Apart from our staff, they are working, yes. But Mr. Chairman, I'm also employing you to get your shareholder incorporated. It will be good for us. When people read their report, these shareholders of this company, they attended the meeting, they attended the forum, and they have been captured in that picture. All due to the guidance due for the youth. So Mr. Chairman, consider it next year. Even as we are locked that about today and this go steps, let it appear here that this is the period when Nigeria experience COVID-19 all over the world. That this is the shareholders who are here, this is the regulators who represent them. It's a risk for them to leave their home and come here, so they are not even go to the offices to operate from their homes. And if they step out to come here today, that's something they will remember in their lifetime. They can keep it. Mr. Chairman, it's very, very important. My sister has talked about in page 100. I'm also still have to put much there. Mr. Chairman, I know cost of doing business in Nigeria is not an easy one. There's a high cost attached to it. 7.057 billion as against 6. It's not much as such, but then we need to watch that. I'm also on that page, audit fees, 44.57 million as against 40. That's on the high side. Even the company, marginally 5.9 million as against 9 million in 2018. I know it's not only auditors that collected those money. There's other corporate governance report. Unfortunately, the person is not here today to read the report, either by virtual or whatever. If not able to attend the meeting physically, she should be able to read, or he, elsewhere where they attended, to read that report to us. I saw that report here, but they're not here. They will log in together as audit fee. We may think that the standards and young will take this money, no, because there's corporate governance report. I know these things have a lot there together as audit fee, because I would have bounced at Ernest and Young. How did they collect such money, huge amount of money? Mr. Chairman, on the employee benefit, I'm also have to commend the company for taking care of our welfare of workers. It's very commendable. The money we spend for them is not in vain. As long as they are working hard, making sure we have a good earning at the end of the financial year. Whatever given to them is worth of it. I don't have any quarrel there. Mr. Chairman, on the security, we spent 88 million as against 65. That tells you all is not well in the country. If the company like this is spending such a huge amount of money in maintaining security, all is not well. And our government of the day is not tackling the security issues. This other company, that money could have been boost up our dividend if the security being provided where you operate, and you pay taxes. The government are not looking at that point to provide security for companies to operate. And we'll be spending our hard-earned money to provide security for ourselves. What a country. Mr. Chairman, that tells you seriously, all is not well with our country. How can we spend such a money in providing security? In government, what's government doing? What's the role of government? It safeguards life and property. Mr. Chairman, you people who speak to the government, also tell them that all is not well with us. Mr. Chairman, I want to also commend you for insurance. That means this is a serious company. When we pay such insurance, but when things eventually occur, they will not have excuse. Because I know it went up against last year, 122 million against 85. That's good. So that if anything happens, the company will not have excuse not to pay us what we have insured for. I want to commend the company for doing that. But a lot of companies should pay. And when it eventually happens, they will only get that step. And this company is taking it serious. That when we pay the insurance people also have to do their own role when this occurs. They will pray that no problem will occur for this company as a flag. They will go with us. Mr. Chairman, I want to also say here, receivable on page 114, trade receivables. I want to also comment here that 5.3 billion to 4.6 billion, that receivables is also commendable. But when we have this, maybe we do business, government, or what companies, we also have to pursue aggressively to recover those monies back to our coffer. Because maintaining aircraft today is not even easy. Mr. Chairman, we look at this page 117 on banks, borrowing in banks. Yes, it has been reduced from 20.478 billion to 16.753 billion. Mr. Chairman, how do we go about paying these loans to the banks? We pay about 3.something billion interest to banks, financial cost. How do we do? Because we have talked about this thing before the economy went bad, that says the market, capital market, to raise money in doing our business. We set it up about 2 years ago, or thereabout, in this place. And with pandemic now, there's no way we can raise money. We must have to run the bank. That's how to keep our business running. As a company, you can't hold your hand. I don't overdraft, or you must do that. Somebody say we can't work for the bank. We don't work for the bank. If you pay half $3 billion, we're working for the banks. But the only shortest way to receive that free money is the capital market. But that is not the right time to go for it. So, Mr. Chairman, I think on drawing board, we should be able to work on that. That when things come to normalcy, we're able to access the capital market to raise money to do our business. That's the only way. Otherwise, we continue to work for the bank. There's no way we cannot continue to work for the bank. There's no way. We will work for the bank. Page 124, that's my last comment there. 124 page. Mr. Chairman, I am looking at here fees and the directors and the what have you. They also went up. Yes, it also went up. It went up. I know whoever work must also pay for them to work hard. If these men and women attending board meeting promptly, they need to wear paid. Because that's what they have been doing. They have not been lacking in attending. But if we are doing that, we must also take precautions of all those increments in the salary and the remuneration, what have you, so that we can also save for the rainy season. Mr. Chairman, our retained earning is also growing. That means we are looking up to the board to look at also rewarding shareholders. Because if we allow that money to overgrow it becomes temptation will become in there. So let us look at rewarding shareholders in the next 1 year thereabout. Split issues for those money instead of building up there and there. It's our money that need to recapitalize one way or the other so that we can also benefit from it. I wish you good luck in this pandemic, that our company we're able to live up to expectation. And I will pray that God will keep our crew members safe, our workers safe. Those in escapades, God will protect their life and their family. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you very much for your comments, which are very appreciative. We'll take the remaining comments, but I want to assure you one thing, that the representatives of the shareholders who are here today, your pictures will be taken as you are sitting, so that we will reflect it in our annual general meeting, annual general report of next year. And God willing, all of us will still be able to attend the meeting in a larger forum. By God's grace. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In spite of all the encomium that has come to the board today, it is pertinent to note that the sustainability report of this company should be mentioned in a forum like this. I want to commend this board because you have deemed it necessary to give equal opportunity to the male and the female. You have taken care of the gender opportunity, training female helicopters. Also, when you look at the long service award, it will make every employee of this organization to be happy that at the end of his working years, he will be a proud owner of tangible gift and award that will be happy to give him his best here. These are some of the important things we must give to the workers that laid this beautiful egg that we are sharing today. Your board has been very, very proactive in this area. So also is the board decision to support the Special Olympics. You have done extremely well in supporting this. Worthy of mention too is the support to the Sensadio mini marathon for the kids. You have done extremely well because most of us realize the humanitarian nature in USA, that you have done a lot for the federal institution, and we are happy that such too is also shown in this company. This is a good one. When I look at the administrative expenses too, I am particularly happy because on that page 100, when you look at salaries and wages, it has jumped over with over fourfold, which clearly shows that salaries have been increased, or possibly you have taken more Nigerians out of the employment cadre by employing them. Mr. Chairman, once again, I want to congratulate this board and wish them more wisdom to share this into greater height. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Chair. The name is Ibrude Moses. I represent SARS on Nuwosu in this August meeting. Sir, I will start my comment with commendation and encouragement. I am so happy. Why am I happy? It is that a company like this was conceptualized, managed for the past years by a Nigerian. Anytime I'm in a meeting where Nigerians form that company, run it to the extent of listing it in the Nigerian capital market, I'm very, very happy and confident. You know why? When international people come, they establish their branches here and they listed it. They will have up to before 51, 60, and all that. But now, SEC and Nigerian Stock Exchange have extended it to the point that they can even have over 80-20%. And when they pay dividend, where did the money go? Go to their country. But today, the money you are paying today, where is it going? Is it going in the country? In this country. So that is what I am happy about. And when I look at this account, I discover also that your sons are the people running it. My point today is to encourage these people that you have saddled with the responsibility. They must not fail you. They must not fail you. If they fail you, they fail the black nation. If they fail you, they fail Nigeria. I want to see that they should manage this business in a way that is internationally acknowledged. That this business should outlive all of us in years to come. We can do it. No matter how bad whatever you said in the country is, we are surviving. I am so glad, sir. And the only prayer I'm going to pray, or I'm saying, whenever I leave, like any company in Nigeria, is that God should always continue to give us that wisdom, that understanding to move this company forward, so that we will be proud of our people, that they can do it anywhere, anytime. Then again, I will suggest on page 6, you say vision, mission, and corporate philosophy. Sir, if you look, that is our goal. That is the something we have written down. And when you put your vision down, when you put it boldly down, you will achieve it when you work towards it. So I will advise a page should be dedicated. The full page of the annual report should be dedicated, instead of the way it is now, to state our vision, mission, and corporate philosophy. That will be good. So it's a suggestion. What I is here is tiny, but let it be a full page where people open it and know the direction we are going. Again, I am also happy when I discover that you said flight training center. That you have established that. You know why I'm happy? My daughter said she wants to be a pilot. I said, you want to be a pilot? Yes. Okay, no problem. I will encourage you to be a pilot, but you must read. So yesterday when I got home, I saw the annual report. I called her. Come, you see, this is Nigeria. See the pilot woman. This is. Can you do that? I said I will buy the cloth for her so that you will be wearing it. That is to tell you that instead of going to Canada or anywhere, you are here to do something. You are here to do something. These are the things we are talking that we can make it. If this one I just said now is not just yesterday. A young daughter, girl like that saying that you want to be like this. Now, if I have at least see the type of dressing neatly and all that, it will encourage young people. So you're making or working this company, making it great. We encourage more people. Not even today, the younger ones to do more. So, sir, That is you. I'm not going to talk about the account or more because other people have already spoken or talked to it. So I'm only encouraging our people, those in management, the workers, Nigerian workers, the people who are working here, to make sure that they run this business in a sound and international footing. Then I am going to meet, thank God, SEC is here. Unclaimed dividend. If you look at this annual report from pages, almost about 5-6 pages, you see unclaimed dividend. And this company is not quite 11 years or 12 years. We're having that. So if we are still having, even MTN I just listed, we're having unclaimed dividend, then something is fundamentally wrong. Something is fundamentally wrong. Nigerian invested money. We said things are hard, and yet they can't be able to get their income on their investment. There's something is wrong. Now, there is a policy which is okay. When you pay a company pay dividend, set the money aside on escrow or fund management account. Interest is coming on top of that money. What are you using the interest for? Can't we use that interest to trace these shareholders? You are not touching the money. The money is yielding interest. I agree. It comes back to the company. Yeah. Portion of that money, can't we use it to trace people? And these days, people are easily to trace. Whether you like it on social media, whatever. They have children. They have this. Let's design a policy towards that, so that at the end of the day, we can reduce this unclaimed dividend. That is my mission for this year. I want to preach that to what? The SEC and the Nigerian Stock Exchange. It's very important. People are dying. And these people have money. You will discover somebody he did the investment when he was working somewhere, and then he left, he went to the village. There's no way. We can trace this thing, trace these people, one way or the other. Using the interest. The company, that money, the tracing will not affect the company, will not affect the money, but there are interests. Let's design something around that to encourage people. And all what I want to say, or finally, is about, though they have said it, there is this current situation, new normal we are experiencing. And it's affecting everybody globally. Sir, what are we doing? What is the strategy are we adopting to make sure we handle this pandemic in a way that it will not affect us adversely too much? What are the strategies? What is management doing that we are doing to make sure that all these things, the lockdown, whatever, can help us? We can mitigate against it so that we come out in a sound footing. And I actually appreciate in your statement that the diversification process we are going, let's pursue it very well and be careful when we are diverting into all this new area so that all our investment will be in a safer way. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful to be here, and I'm very proud of you. I'm proud of the company because it's a Nigerian company, and all the whole money we are making is coming to Nigeria, and I'm very, very proud and happy. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and I wish you a long life, good health, so that you can see that what you started is growing. And when the time comes, you'll be so happy that you have what you've done and contributed your own part to humanity. Thank you very much. The name once again is Sikru Moses.
Thank you very much for all the comments, both the criticism and the praises and all. We'll take them in good strides and we'll respond to them in due course. But one of the things that came out that I really want us to look at quickly, and it should be between the shareholders, the stockbrokers, and SEC and NSE, is that of the unclaimed dividend. Unclaimed dividend is there. We have paid the dividend. The stockbrokers have kept the dividend. That is, the registrars have kept the dividend, sorry. But there is a law which says that if you want to claim your unclaimed dividend, you have to appear in person. That is not fair. If your picture is there, if they can send the money to your own account and you can do a letter, I think that should be enough. I mean, for somebody to come from maybe again a body to come and claim 300 naira dividend with 1,000 naira is not going to be on. So you major shareholders, it's your duty now to fight with the registrars and whoever made the law to reduce the burden. Now we have locked down every state, everybody from coming from each state to another one. How does he come to collect his money, even if we trace it? We have been able to trace so many, but they have been asked to come after saying, please pay my dividend to this account. I mean, what else do we want? So it will be up to you to please look into that for us and see what can be done. I thank you very much. We will still answer your other questions later on. There are seven agenda items to be deliberated on today. I hereby call a poll on items 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 on the agenda, pursuant to section 2241, Companies and Allied Matters Act 1990. Therefore, voting for the resolution in respect of each agenda item will be carried out electronically. Elections to Audit Committee can only by show of hands and not by poll as stipulated by law. Each shareholder has been given a voting device and the results will be displayed online for all the attending virtual to view. Please note that as there are 5 ordinary resolutions and 2 special resolutions, each ordinary resolution requires 50% of the total votes cast in order to be passed, and the special resolution requires at least 75% of the votes cast by the shareholders in favor of it in order to be passed. I will now invite the registrars to provide an explanation about the electronic voting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will proceed to explain the procedure for casting your votes using the devices provided. Please be informed that we have captured the voting details for 210 shareholders received by proxy and holding 2,777,232,308 units of Caverton offshore shares, which represents 82.89% of the issued share capital. In addition to the proxies received, we will be capturing the votes of shareholders physically present at this meeting to arrive at the final voting results. You've all been assigned a voting device that we have configured to represent your shareholding in Caverton Offshore PLC. On your voting devices, the button 1/A is for a yes vote, the button 2/B is for a no vote, and 3/C is for an abstain vote. Once the voting has commenced, please press the reference button in accordance with your decision or choice. And note that each shareholder can change their votes during the voting period, but once the voting period has ended, the last button you press will be recorded as your vote. Closing of the voting session will be announced and the results displayed and subsequently read out. The chairman will then announce the results. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. James Cole. The first resolution in respect of the audited financial statements. Are there any questions before the motion is put to the meeting? No. Thank you. Since there are no further questions, shall we proceed?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
We will now.
Will the shareholder kindly move that the annual report and accounts, including the audited financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2019, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, and the audit committee thereon be and are hereby accepted? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ekoni. Will another shareholder please rise and second this motion? Thank you, Mrs. Bakari. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I now put the motion to a vote. You have 20 seconds to vote. Please cast your votes.
Voting will now commence. Please, let's use your keypads accordingly. We have 15 seconds left. 10, 5, 3 seconds, 2, 1. The voting can now close. Thank you. We'll await the results. We'll await display of the results, please. Thank you. The result is hereby displayed. On the first resolution, presentation of the audited financial statements and all other reports, we have 214 shareholders who have voted in favor and holding 2,777,437,008 shares and representing 100%. Thank you.
Thank you. Following the result of the voting as announced by the registrar, I hereby declare that the resolution to accept the annual report and accounts, including the audited financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2019, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, and the audit committee thereon, has been passed. We now move to the second item on the agenda, which is the declaration of a dividend. The board of directors has recommended that a dividend payment of 20 kobo per share, subject to withholding tax, be declared in respect of the year ended December 31st, 2019. Are there any questions before the motion is put to the meeting? I thought you don't want the 20 kobo. You said you want 25. Since there are no further questions, we shall proceed. Will a shareholder kindly move that a dividend of 20 kobo per share, subject to withholding tax, be declared in respect of the year ended December 31st, 2019? Yes, please.
I so move. share politics.
Thank you. Will another shareholder please rise and second the motion?
Mrs. Carter, ABC, and second.
Thank you. I now put the motion to a vote. You have 20 seconds to vote. Please cast your votes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Voting can now commence.
I'm sure this one will take 5 seconds.
15 seconds more. We'll do 10 seconds more. 5, 3, 2, 1. We can now close the vote. Thank you. And let's expect the results to be displayed. So we're expecting the results on declaration of a dividend, the second resolution. Can the result be displayed, please? Network? Thank you. So we have the results displayed to declare a dividend, and then you have 214 shareholders who have all voted in favor and holding 2,777,437,008 units and representing 100%. Thank you.
Following the result of the voting as announced by the registrar, I hereby declare that the resolution to declare a dividend of 20 kobo per share in respect of the period ended December 31st, 2019 has been passed. The third item on the agenda is the election and re-election of directors. Before we proceed further, I would like to mention that the registrar of directors' attendance at the board meetings during the period under review is available for inspection in accordance with Section 2582 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap C20 LFN 2004. At this meeting, Chief Raymond Ihembe, Mr. Shola Falola, and His Royal Majesty Edmond Dakoro are retiring from the board in compliance with Section 2592 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap 620 LFN 2004, and being eligible have offered themselves up for re-election. In addition, in the course of the year, in compliance with Section 249 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap C20 LFN 2004, their appointments are to be approved at this meeting. Are there any questions before the motions to put to this meeting?
No question.
Thank you. Since there are no further questions, we shall proceed. The election of Chief Raymond Ihembe. Will the shareholder kindly move that Chief Raymond Ihembe be and is hereby re-elected as a director of the company? Thank you. Will another shareholder please rise and second the motion?
I rise to second the motion. Okay, sir.
Thank you. I now put the motion to a vote. You have 20 seconds to vote. Please cast your votes.
Voting will now commence. Can we open the polls, open the votes? Voting has commenced. We'll be doing 15 seconds more. We'll do 10 now. 5, 3, 2, 1. Voting can now close. Thank you. We'll wait for the results to be displayed. Thank you. The result for Chief Raymond Iyembe is hereby displayed, and we have 214 shareholders who have all voted in favor and holding 2,777,436,008 shares and representing 100%. Thank you.
Following the results of the voting as announced by the registrar, I hereby declare that the resolution to re-elect Chief Raymond Iyembe as the director of the company has been passed. Re-election of Mr. Shola Falola. Will the shareholder kindly move that Mr. Shola Falola be and is hereby re-elected as the director of the company? Thank you.
I hereby move that motion that Mr. Falola be elected as the director of the company.
Thank you. Will another shareholder please rise? Thank you. I now put the motion to a vote. You have 20 seconds to vote. Please cast your votes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The voting can now commence. We'll do 10 seconds more. 5, 3, 2, 1. The voting can now close. Thank you. While we wait for the results to be displayed. Thank you. The result is hereby displayed, and you have on the resolution for Mr. Shola Falola 214 shareholders who have voted in favor and holding 2,777,437,008 shares and representing 100%. Thank you.
Following the result of the voting as announced by the registrar, I hereby declare that the resolution to re-elect Mr. Shola Falola as the director of the company has been passed. Re-election of His Royal Majesty Edmond Dakoro. Will a shareholder kindly move that HRM Edmond Dakoro be and is hereby re-elected as the director of the company?
I so move, Mr. Chairman. My name is Caverton.
Thank you. Will another shareholder please rise?
All right, to second the motion.
Thank you. I now put the motion to a vote. You have 20 seconds to vote. Please cast your votes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can we commence the voting session? We can open the votes, please. 10 seconds more. We'll do 5, 3. The voting can close. Thank you. Thank you. We would await the result. Thank you. The result is hereby displayed on the resolution to elect His Royal Majesty Edmond Dakoro, and he has 214 shareholders who have voted in favor and holding 2,777,437,008 shares and representing 100%. Thank you.
Following the result of the voting as announced by the registrar, I hereby declare that the resolution to re-elect the HRM Edmond Dakoro as a director of the company has been passed. The next on the agenda is the remuneration of auditors. Section 361(1)(b) of the Company and Allied Matters Act requires that their remuneration shall be fixed by the company in general meeting or in such manner as the company in general meeting may determine. Are there any questions before the motion?
No questions.
Thank you. Since there is no further question, we shall proceed. Will a shareholder move that the directors be and hereby authorized to fix the remuneration and expenses of the auditors in respect of the year ended December 31st, 2020? Thank you. Thank you. Will somebody second? Thank you. I now put the motion to a vote. You have 20 seconds to vote. Please cast your votes.
Voting can now commence, please. Thank you. We can do 10 seconds. 5 seconds. 3. Voting can now close. Thank you. We'll await the results on the resolution to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. Thank you. So we have the results displayed, and we have 214 shareholders also voting in favor of the resolution and holding 2,777,437,008 shares and representing 100%. Thank you.
Thank you. Following the results of the voting as announced by the registrar, I hereby declare that the resolution to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration and expenses of the auditors in respect of the year ending December 31st, 2020 has been passed. The next item on the agenda is the election of members of the Audit Committee. Section 3594 of the Company and Allied Matters Act, Cap C20 LFN 2004 provides that a maximum of 6 members of the Audit Committee consisting of 3 directors and 3 representatives of the shareholders be elected at an annual general meeting. The Act further provides that in the case of election of the shareholders' representatives, nominations should be received not later than 21 days before the date of the meeting. The Board of Directors have nominated the following 3 directors for election as members of the Audit Committee: Malam Bello Gwandu, Mr. Bashiru Bakari, and Chief Raymond Yembe. Chief Raymond Yembe, can you stand up to be recognized? Since the board has made valid nomination as required by Section 3594, there is no need to vote on them. I hereby declare that the 3 directors are hereby appointed as members of the Audit Committee of Caverton Offshore Support Group, PLC. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 3 more seats to be filled in accordance with the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap C20 LFN 2004 on the Audit Committee. As at June 4th, 2020, 26 nominations were received by the Company Secretary from the shareholders for election as members of the Audit Committee. Of these, 23 have withdrawn their nominations. The remaining therefore are Mr. Adetola Biodun Atekoja, Mr. Friday Ejere Odigu, and Mr. Akim Shagaya. Are there any questions before the motion put to the meeting?
No, there's no question.
Since there are no further questions, shall we proceed? Can some...
Chairman, we feel that the other applicant have withdrawn and is nominated by the CC and the director. All it is to do, either you move a motion here and somebody second it, taking them in, so there's no election for that.
Therefore, thank you. I therefore move that the 3 nominees be into the Audit Committee be appointed, directors. So will the directors be appointed accordingly? Can somebody move the motion?
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Can somebody second? Thank you. Carry. What? Page 56. Dear shareholders, I hereby present to you the members of the Audit Committee who will serve until the conclusion of the next AGM. They are Chief Raymond Yembe, who is here, Mr. Bashiru Bakari, Malam Bello Gwandu, Mr. Adetola Abiodun Atekoja, Mr. Friday Ejere Odigu, Mr. Akim Shagaya. Please join me in congratulating members of the Audit Committee while wishing them the best in the service of the company. Before I discuss the next item on the agenda, I would like to inform you that we sought and were granted an additional approval from the Corporate Affairs Commission to discuss special business at this AGM in line with their new guidelines, which allows special business. The next item on the agenda falls under special business is for the approval of the remuneration of the directors. The directors are proposing the sum of 2 million naira for chairman and 1,333,333 naira for each of the non-executive directors. Last year it was higher, but because of the situation presently being that we are now in, the directors have decided to reduce their own shares by 33.1%. Are there any questions before the motion is put in to the meeting?
Yeah, Chairman, I don't think there's any question. Since the directors are setting the ball rolling, that was in conformity in what my statement when I was doing my presentation. I said our workforce, which are assets, instead of retrenching them or send them home, are you going to do likewise across the board?
Yes, because we had various meetings with the members of with the staff, the members of staff, and all the members of staff have agreed that effective from 1st June, their salary should be reduced by 32.5%, because that is to ensure that we retain our staff. If not so, we will have to cut down by 50%, because we are in an oil industry, and we know the situation with the oil. It was $55 per barrel before. It's now 2022, and they are telling us they are not very optimistic in ensuring we can continue with that. The only saving grace we have, there are two saving graces we have. One, we are on contract with the oil companies, so whether they like it or not, they will still pay us. But they are asking for a discount of 40%. And in some cases, we'll be able to fly more because of this social distancing. If you are to carry 20 before, you are now to carry 10. So it needs another one. But having said that, it will also maximize its own way of doing it. We've been told to reduce our staff in escravos and all the rest of that. But in view of that, we've been able to tell the staff that it's either we reduce by 40% or we reduce our own salary. And everybody agreed, they actually agreed to reduce their salary by 35%. But the board, looking at the sufferings and all the rest of that, reduced it by 32.5%. And we'll be reviewing it every three months. If the situation warrants, we'll be able to do it better for them, so that they don't suffer the hardship. And if we have more contracts coming, the little ones who have been asked to leave will be asked to come back. Thank you.
Chairman, do you feel that the explanation and the staff will agree, so that there will not be a problem among the workforce to state is right, and the company will also maintain their harmony and a good relationship with our workforce? So based on that, I will arise to second that motion. To propose that motion that the director's fees as agreed, because we have not been approving this since you have sought for CAC and agreed approval, so we cannot reject it at the special resolution. So all the meeting process we have not been doing that, but since the company have sought approval and the CAC have given that approval, so in that line we also given the approval. I so do, Mr. Chairman. It's okay, Chair Boniface.
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Thank you.
Bisi Bakar.
Thank you. Since there are no further questions, we shall proceed. No point voting for that. I now put the motion to a vote. You have 20 seconds to vote. Please cast your votes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll do 10 seconds more. Can we press our keep devices accordingly? This is for shareholders who are present. Please press your devices. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. We can now close the votes. Thank you. Sir. I'll see it, sir. I'll see it, sir. Can we display the results? I'll see it from the results, sir. Can we have the results displayed? Okay. Your vote was captured. Your vote was captured. We have 214 shareholders who have voted in favor of the resolution to fix the remuneration of directors and holding 2,777,437,008 shares and representing 100%. Thank you.
Following the results of the voting as announced by the registrar, I hereby declare that the resolution that the remuneration of the chairman of 2 million naira and that of the non-executive directors of 1,333,000 naira and 333 naira, hereby for the year ended 31st December 2020 be approved and passed. And hereby passed. The next agenda also falls under special business, and it is to authorize the renewal of current transactions which are of trading nature or those necessary for the company's day-to-day operation from related companies in accordance with the rules and regulations of the Nigerian Stock Exchange governing transactions with related parties. Are there any questions before the motion is put to the meeting? Thank you. Since there are no further questions, we shall proceed. Would a shareholder kindly move that the directors be and are hereby authorized to renew recurrent transactions which are of trading nature or those necessary for the company's day-to-day operations from related companies in accordance with the rules and regulations of the Nigerian Stock Exchange governing transactions with related parties? Can somebody move it? Thank you. Can somebody? Thank you. I now put the motion to a vote. You have 20 seconds to cast your votes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The vote has started. Can we press our keypads accordingly? We'll do 5 seconds more. We'll do 3, 2. We can now close the votes. Thank you. We'll await the results. So, thank you. The result is hereby displayed on the 7th resolution. And we have 214 shareholders who are voting in favor and holding 2,777,437,008 shares and representing 100%. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Following the results of the voting as announced by the registrar, I hereby declare that the resolution that the directors are authorized to renew recurrent transactions which are of trading nature or those necessary for the company's day-to-day operations from related companies in accordance with the rules and regulations of the Nigerian Stock Exchange governing transactions with related parties be approved and have been passed. Yeah. Well, no, let me continue first. I will now say you should answer one or two. But make sure you answer the ones that are not important. I'll just... Ladies and gentlemen, and there's no further business on the agenda, I would like to thank you all on behalf of the board for attending this meeting and showing so much interest in your company's affairs. But having said that, there are some of the questions which we just want to touch on that you asked. There is a particular one where you are saying that we shouldn't have paid to the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health was asked to coordinate the payment of those funds because that was for the Tafaji school that got burnt, and they were to rebuild and to help people, and it was the Lagos State Ministry of Health that was coordinating it. And I can assure you it was put into better use as at then. We've touched on the unclaimed dividend, and also we want to reassure you that we're doing our best to make sure that we move the business to other parts of Africa and West Africa. Although their tax regime are always very difficult. You can see what we are experiencing in Cameroon. For everything you pay for, you pay tax on it. Even if you buy an MTN card for your staff, you pay tax on it. So all those we need to consider before we move to other places. They've contacted us, and we are making sure that we do our best to do all that are necessary. We'll keep on doing our best to make sure that the entertainment allowances and all the rest of that are curtailed, and the CFO has been mandated to make sure that many other reductions are made to comply with the present situation. As for the security, there's nothing much we can do in terms of paying for security because the government is ready to collect tax from you, but they are not ready to ensure that they do their part. That's the present situation when they have other things to do, and that, as it's been said all over the world, that you cannot leave everything to government. You must always do your own part. The government can't do everything. So we just have to bear the burden of doing that part as our part. But we will ensure we cut down on many of it. We also ensure that the staff are taken proper care of in this present situation because they are our own frontliners in every way and in many things they do. But then God will protect us all. As for the shareholders being part of the annual report, we'll make sure that each union that we are will make sure that they are part of the story in future, because it's very important, and we apologize for having not putting them before. The CFO will answer one or two questions and then we move.
Good afternoon, esteemed shareholders. Mrs. Bakari asked some few questions. We will take one or two of the questions which relates to donation and administrative expenses. The recommendations we made on those two questions are taken.
That's a put it in your mouth and speak
Your
loud.
question number one, you referred to page 15 of the annual report. You said you want to know the progress report of the ongoing construction of Caverton Trading Center. You also want to know whether it is still valid that it will start operation in Q4 of 2020. At this meeting, I want to confirm to you that we are 80% close to completion of the training center. Our plan initially was to commence in Q3 2020, but because of the pandemic, we had to push it to Q4 in agreement with Titus, which is the company that will install the CCTV. Your question 3, you asked what we meant by strategic shareholder under substantial interest in shares. This represents shares held by key corporate organizations. Your question 5, page 99. You said under cost of sales, the aircraft rental is new for 2019, and 2018 it was 5.3 billion. Does this mean that there are no rentals in 2019? There are rentals in 2019 during the period. However, the cost line item is now replaced with depreciation of right of use of assets and interest in lease liabilities, which is necessitated by the implementation of IFRS 16, which took effect in 2019. I think that is all the questions.
Thank you very much. We'll ask Mr. Boniface Okezie to give us the closing prayer.
And everybody represented here, all as well, the family home, take us safely to our further destination in the mighty name of Jesus. Lord, we ask and pray that this time this year we shall all gather. As many that are here today and those who are not here, Father, you made it possible for them to be able to surmount every problem that have been started there. And by this year, all of us are coming full house to the this meeting, to join this company. Father, we pray that as the company going to the field, protect their life and property of this company. Secure the workforce who are in the field. Father, their family, they will left at home going to work. They will come back and meet them safely. Father, these are when they will ask in Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
National anthem.